go. Good luck, though. All right, man. Good luck. Good luck.
I'm going to start it over. Go.
Hey, we from Cali, though. To Delaware. Yeah. This is a new era. 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 Let's go. Good luck, though. All right, man. Good luck. Good luck. We can throw the traffic. Play football. Let's go. Play football. Play football.
Well. They're saying it's a new era in town. It's a new Jack Swing. A little joke for the 70s, 80s babies. Don't do me like that. You know what I'm talking about. Josh even knows.
That was a bad reference.
New Jack Swing. I mess with it. All right, what's going on, everybody? It's SJG, and this is HBCU Game Day. You are watching the Road Warriors. This is week 9. We took a week off last week. It was homecoming for me last week. I ain't have it. And Cobi was off, and Josh was. God, where were you? Oh yeah, we were in the same game. So there we go. Literally just got off. I literally just got off the road. This is still my wristband from Saturday getting onto the campus. So shout out to my plug there. But yeah, man, hope everybody had a great weekend so far. Well, half of us did and half of us didn't. But anyway, how y'all feeling today, guys?
Y'all already know. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. You already know.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into it. We are, again, in week 9. Please, guys, go ahead and make sure you hit the like button on the stream wherever you're watching, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. And leave us a comment. Let us know if you went to a game yesterday. Talk to us. We won't bite. So, yeah, we're in the middle of homecoming season. And we officially kicked off MEAC play, and the SWAC has already been in swing, and the D2s are closing up. The contenders are there. The pretenders have been revealed, and they've revealed themselves many times, consistently. We'll get there. All right, so let's just kind of go down the scores, and then we'll talk about the games that we were at. I was at Norfolk State University. It was homecoming and homegoing, but South Carolina State gets it done. Cobi, you were?
I was at Morgan State Howard. It definitely was like how it is. Homecoming was a movie.
Okay, we'll find out what genre in a second. And then Josh, where were you yesterday?
I was at North Carolina Central's homecoming versus Delaware State.
Okay, got you. So between the three of us, we saw the entire MEAC slate of games, the three games that were going on, the 3 games that were going on, as well as the 3 homecomings. And so a lot to see, a lot to take in. But before we get to our games and kind of what our experiences were behind the curtain, let's kind of look at the entire landscape of HBCU football. You know what? I'm in a good mood today. I just got off the road. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling generous. We'll start off with some good news from an unlikely place, East Greensboro. Yes, the Aggies of North Carolina A&T triumphed over the Fighting Camels of Campbell University by a score of 28-24, picking up their second CAA win of all time and their second CAA win of the season.
And that makes them one step closer from winning 3 games in the season, like I said they would. So,
Well, I mean, hey, to their credit, they have already matched the win output of the previous regime, of the previous 2 years. Yeah. They actually got a chance to get into victory formation. I heard that there were some Aggies with some tears in their eyes seeing that. And You guys' thoughts on that, especially Josh. Any thoughts since you were very high on A&T at one point. You were brought down back to earth several times.
Yeah.
Now, your thoughts.
I think it's a big win. I think it's a really, really big win.
Every win's a big win when you've only. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I just think it's a big win, and I think it makes it even more a bigger win for Coach Gibbs and him being able to recruit now. Because now it's like, okay, cool, you got the win versus Hampton. Some people feel like they shouldn't have won the game. It was fluke, had a lot of things go their way to win the game. Now you go and win versus Campbell, who isn't, a great team. I think they're 2-7. The record isn't great, but they do have a pretty good offense. The offense is pretty solid in the CAA. And, for A&T to get, like you said, any win right now is huge for them, because now we already knew that going into the season, this was a rebuild season. This was a get right season. We're just going to, get everything intact. But now that you're able to, now if we really look back at their schedule and say, okay, let one slip by versus Tennessee State, Central, okay, cool. And then the rest of the games when you and Mary, they've been competing at a better level than they have in the past couple of years. So as a recruit, as a student, as a player, you're looking at this like, hey, man, even though we're not winning games, we're competing at a good level. And now with them pulling off this win versus Campbell, it's like, okay, cool. Now you have something to fight for. Now you have something to root for the next following up seasons. And like I said, for Coach Gibbs, it's huge for him now, because like I said, personally, I've seen him up close. I've seen him in person. I've seen his attitude. I've seen his swagger. Some of the kids will understand me when I say this. I've seen his aura in person, and you can tell that the team is feeding off of that. And that's all that any A&T alum or any former A&T players will love to see that their team is fighting behind their head coach. And, just seeing them being able to pull up another win, it makes me happy, but it makes me more happy for Coach Gibbs after seeing what they had just been through and him coming in first year and turning the regime around. And it may sound crazy that I'm saying turning the regime around, but, it's a start. Especially from coming what they came from, it's a start. From not looking competitive at all, from getting blown out every single game, to not even scoring over 10 points a game in multiple games, to coming out and winning 2 CAA games ever for the first time in his first season. As an A&T fan, alum, or whatever, you have to be somewhat like happy about this. Like, even though that you guys are not going to end the season on a winning record, more than likely, you still have to be somewhat excited to see what's coming forth with Coach Gibbs. So I'm personally happy for him.
I am too, and like that's what you got to do when you start building the program. You take the we call them big wins, but small steps. You know what I'm saying? And so the administration's behind them, the alumni are behind them, the plans are behind them. Now you just got to give him time to work his magic. And so as those things develop, as they continue to build, hopefully he can continue, because now he has a core, and now those things start to build and evolve around that. And
the one thing too with them that's also being that's a big thing that's Coach Gibbs trying to install in them, they have an identity. That's a huge part within A&T that they didn't have with the last regime with the coach. They didn't have no true identity with A&T. But Coach Gibbs, some people will notice they're getting back to making fried chicken. Like, if you know, like, they're getting back to doing what they do. And, I see Steve over there rolling his eyes. I don't want to say that the Aggies are back, but they're in a great spot. They're in a better spot than what they were in before. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say that they're going to come out next year and, beat Central. I'm not going to say none of that crazy stuff, but I am going to sit here and say that they are in a great spot to be looking forward with for the next coming up years. So, especially in the CAA, with them competing with teams like this, because, they're a field goal block and an interception away from beating William and Mary. They're a missed field goal from beating Tennessee State. They could have 4 or 5 wins right now in the season, so that's a big step up from coming from last year, going through what they went through. So I'm all happy for the Aggies.
For the record, I was not rolling my eyes. But, hey, maybe I can get more than a one-word answer this week. So now, since they got a win. So there's that. Congratulations. Congratulations, Don. So good win for them. So we'll see if they can pick up a couple more in the CAA. Should be fun over in East Greensboro tomorrow if I can get a parking spot. Shout out to not being told. All right, let's see, because these are the things that really matter in life. Then we got D2. Not a lot to talk about right here. This is This team sounds streaking, so let's give them some props. Miles, they got a 28-24 win over Central State. I mean, it's Central State, but hey, if you're Miles, you take what you can get this year. And an interesting one over in Atlanta. Talk about a homecoming being a homegoing.
Yeah. Shocking.
Clark, Atlanta.
Let it slip by. Let it slip by.
Let what slip?
Woof. No,
Yeah.
it was 55-41. That was damn near B to A.
No, I'm saying like they let one slip by into like them having like the season that they wanted to have.
They let a bunch slip by.
But you can't. I was gonna say you can't lose homecoming, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Well, clearly, the moral of this week is you can lose homecoming. Let us know in the comments if your school did win their homecoming or lose their homecoming, or whether you give a ram. Whether you give a ram. All right, so
you had to bring WSSU into
hey, we won our homecoming. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. All right. But look, I do want to point out Edward Waters. Man, they started looking like the team we thought they were earlier in the year. They had 633 yards of total offense, 8.1 yards per play. Now, they did have a bunch of penalties. And when I say a bunch, I mean all of the penalties. They have 15 penalties for 129 yards. But I guess even that didn't outweigh how bad the Clark Atlanta defense played. So Teddy Keaton show this week should be interesting. So keep a lookout for that on D2 Wednesdays on HBCU Game Day on our YouTube channel. Tough conversations. All right, we'll get to this next score later. Over in the CIAA, Virginia Union's offense decided to look somewhat mortal this week. 24-7 win over Bowie State. They only rushed for 280 yards. Slow day.
And how many did Kirby Talon have?
Yeah, let me see.
209.
Let's see. He had 198. 30 for 198. Only one touchdown. A mortal type day for him. But yeah. So for sure, Virginia Union rolling. With a couple games left, they still are the leaders in the CIAA along with Fayetteville State, but they do play in the CIAA Old North, so they're probably going to be all right. A game or two, they got to play Lincoln and Bluefield. Wait a minute, have they already played Bluefield State? No, they already played Lincoln, and they smashed Lincoln. They got to play Bluefield State, and who else is and Virginia State. Yeah. We'll see them in Durham. The question will be, who will they be playing? But we'll get there.
Oh, so you said you meant us on the board.
Yeah.
Like right now, because you definitely didn't mean we in the Ramley.
Yeah, I didn't say that. But since you wanted to bring it up.
No, I have to clarify because sometimes you refer to we as the Ramley. And then now I know you're referring to Reed's game.
This is HBCU Game Day, sir. That's not WSSU Ram Nation, which is my other YouTube channel, which you can go on and see that as well. You just mad because I called out that the rest of the North is weak. But anyway, yes. Speaking of my Rams, it was a Ram shame. Johnson C. Smith, Golden Bulls, beat the Rams. 22-27. Okay. All right. But hey, it wasn't the worst loss in the CIAA this week. Elizabeth City State spanked Lincoln 62-14. Everybody's beating up on Lincoln. Even the Rams beat up on Lincoln. So there we go. And
we forgot a D2 game as well that really shocked me.
We getting there. We getting there. Yeah, we got all the scores. All right. Fayetteville State put 31-13 up on the plain old Bears from Shaw, who seem to have peaked after they beat Winston-Salem State. We'll see, that's a theme. Monmouth 28-10 over Hampton at homecoming. Then another one of those who scheduled them for homecoming type of games. But it was a really big day for homecomings in Virginia. You had Hampton, Norfolk State, Virginia State, and even Old Dominion, PWI, but they got a lot of black people there too. So it was homecoming weekend, and for most of Virginia, Virginia Union got this started earlier in the week. Albany State really, and I don't know if this one you were talking about, 31-3 over Benedict. You know, Benedict had been a bully. Their defense had been really good, but Albany State said they don't care about none of that.
Crazy.
They was like, they don't care about none of that. They put up 17 in the second quarter, and that really kind of took the heart out of them. You know, they didn't have super gaudy numbers either. I mean, they had 493 yards of total offense, which is good, but I mean, you know, we saw Edward Waters had, but against that defense, I guess it is.
That's what I was going to say. Like versus that defense, you give up that.
That preview though for the SIAC championship. And I just want to say one thing: if you're going to talk about how they beat Benedict, you got to say the name right. Albany. It's not Albany. Albany.
That might be the Southern in me. Albany. It's Albany.
The Golden Rams.
Okay.
Not the Rams. They're the Golden Rams. There's a distinction there. But 27 first downs for Albany State. Nearly 300 yards passing. You know, so they take control of the SIAC race. Maybe we'll see a rematch again. They don't do the divisions, so that's going to be very interesting. We'll get to my game later. Speaking of CIAA North, Virginia State put up 51-34 over Bluefield State, but this game was tied at halftime, 28-28. This game was tied at halftime. Virginia State trying to keep its slim CIAA championship hopes alive, but I think now with thanks to the Rams losing and Johnson C. Smith winning, they still have a chance because Johnson C. Smith already has one loss, and they have to play the winner of Fayetteville State. So Virginia State still has a very slim chance to get the CIAA championship. We saw them slide in there last year. Will it happen again after they got beat by multiple teams who were better than them? I don't think so, but we'll see. Next up, we got Tennessee State. Everybody knows almost doesn't count. Man, Tennessee State, so close against the Western Illinois Leathernecks, 17-6. 17-6. They couldn't build off that win over Howard, but you know they got 2 wins. So they're 2-1, 2-2 against HBCU opponents. So you know, hey, they can beat the HBCUs for sure, the ones that they've had to play. Bethune-Cookman, one of the surprises of the HBCU football season. They continue that going. I see we got Hale Wildcats in here. And there's Dave. Yes, he's cussing on the chat line. Get that curse word off of here, man. We trying to get us banned.
Congrats, Dave.
Yeah, you know. Congratulations. Yeah.
They get one more. I don't know who they get, but they get somebody slipping. They're going to catch somebody. It might be Mama. I don't know. They're going to catch somebody.
I want to hear why later, but you got to tell me why they might catch Mama.
I'm telling you this, like I've told you every single time, I just believe in Gibbs. That's all. I just believe
Gibbs ain't playing.
I know he's not, but he has them boys ready to play. He has them boys hooping. I'm just saying. It'll be Townsend. I think they play Townsend this weekend, matter of fact.
That's probably the only team they're going to catch.
Then they play Townsend this weekend. Too bad I won't be there.
So, what's the next game, Steve?
All right. Well, in the Somebody Had to Win Bowl in Mississippi, the Alcorn State Braves took down the Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley State. Hey,
bad.
That was a dub. I mean, it wasn't the future pastors of America. So, you know, congratulations to Alcorn State, Mississippi Valley. Keep hope alive. Fort Valley State, 23-19 over Lane. Oh, look, Morehouse College. They came back down to earth. Sorry, Eddie Drew. 24-16 loss to Savannah State over Morehouse. Morehouse back to being Morehouse. See, I'm getting Sly. I'm getting I'm getting a leg out on Sly there. So yeah. All right. So this one right here, this was one that not a lot of people saw coming. I mean, let's just sit with it.
Andrew Body Player of the Year. I'm going to say it now. Player of the Year. Let's go ahead and give it to him.
That's two belts, ain't it?
And you know what's crazy? It started with Cam Newton. That's where it started.
It
started with Cam. That's where it started. When Cam did that, the game was already over. They didn't even have to play the game. After he did that to their mascot, the mascot had already lost. So whenever you got that negative stigma already, it's over with. My dog Cam smacked the mascot upside the head and he went over to the
everyone. I mean, in front of everybody. So, like somebody said, that young person's mother had to be like, "Why in the world were you trying to fight Cam Newton?"
Isn't that the largest victory in Magic's the Magic City Classic?
It just might be. I did not check the record books, or I haven't seen the record books. But yeah, it's got to. I would imagine there's not a lot that are yeah. So tough day tough weekend for Alabama A&M. Meanwhile, and we'll get to this in a second. All is not technically lost for the Alabama State Hornets. We'll get to that in just a second. But let's, because of something that happened later. Look at this. A couple weeks ago on here, we talked about the hot seat, right? We talked about the hot seat, and then the block really got hot at Southern, and it turned into a roaster, and Terrence Graves was sent packing. So we now have a new interim head coach over at Southern University. That is Fred McNair, and all of a sudden, Jaguar Nation exploded for 35 points. They would have killed for 35 points last week.
Aren't they?
Graves would still have a job if they were scoring 35 points.
Weren't they supposed to hire him before Graves?
Nah, that was you're thinking Texas Southern.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, man, they scored 35 points, which was great. But everybody knows Jaguars almost doesn't count. And 414 yards of offense were good, but not enough to escape the 547 that they gave up. They just said, now Graves gone, damn, we don't even got to play defense anymore. But FAMU gets a much-needed dub. Their seat over there has been warm as well. We talked about that with Vaughn a couple weeks ago, but we had FAMU picking up a 43-35 win over Southern. Oh, yeah, well, I mean, silver linings. And maybe any other day it would be the biggest upset. I guess it was, but Jackson State and Grambling State met up in Las Vegas, Nevada for the inaugural, not first ever, it's inaugural, people. Inaugural. It's inaugural Las Vegas HBCU Classic. Jackson State comes in nationally ranked. They haven't lost to a SWAC team since they lost to Grambling State last year.
Yep.
And then the game started. And
good game.
Yeah.
Great game.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was en route. So somebody let me know, what were your thoughts on the game?
Question. I haven't watched them, and I know Josh saw him play. Do you think they would have lost the game if Jacoby and Morgan wouldn't have got hurt?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say yes. Well, no, I'm gonna say no. The only reason why I'm gonna say no is because I think maybe me a little bit biased, but they should have went to the third string quarterback that finished the game, Jared Lockhart, immediately. They should have went to him early. He already played in the season. He already played in the game before, and he had a great game whenever they played already before. So I don't know why, TC. I'm not going to question TC's defending Super Bowl, defending Celebration Bowl champion. So I'm going to say no, strictly on the fact I feel like the mistakes that the second string quarterback had made in that game, I don't think Jacobian would have made. I don't think the offense would have stalled out as many times as it did. But I do also want to say that Grambling State played an amazing game. Like everything that they had to do, they did it. The quarterback, prayers up to him, man. Prayers up to the Grambling State player, man. That injury was super duper scary. I was literally watching it on the way back home. I'm like, man, that looks scary. Like just seeing that, like super duper scary. So prayers up to him for sure. But he played an amazing game. Damn near played mistakeless free football. Like he played a great game. So I'm gonna just say no because I think Jacobian has such control of the offense that him and TC are in tune together. But I do want to say like Grambling State was outplaying them up to that moment, and Grambling State did play an amazing game. So I'm gonna say no.
So Steve, do you think that game is fool's gold or is Grambling trending upwards?
Mixture, Loki. Mixture.
I think sometimes I don't know. Sometimes they say, a team just has your number, right? And sometimes you play up to the competition, and obviously, the standard for the SWAC right now is Jackson State. They won 3 of the last 4 SWAC championships. Defending Celebration Bowl champions. They're in the national poll. I vote in the national poll every week, and so I have to pull them down a little bit because of this. So I think sometimes it's a matter of just playing up, and it's like if I'm a Grambling fan, I'm like, well, why can't we play like this against all these other teams?
Facts.
Yeah,
like that sometimes. But for right now, they'll be fine. Huh?
Jackson State's still going to be fine. They're still going to go on to win. They're still going to go on to go to the SWAC championship game. I personally feel like nobody needs to, as a Jackson State fan, y'all don't need to overreact. Don't overreact. Don't rush Jacobian back. Like I said earlier, it may be a little bit of my bias, but I'm a huge believer in Jared Lockhart. He played out here in North Carolina in Charlotte at a high school called Myers Park. He played with Cam Newton's 7-on-7 team his junior and sophomore year. I mean, his sophomore and junior year. So he's played in big games. He actually played in the Keep Pounding Classic, the first one ever that we had out here in North Carolina. Basically, preseason, not a preseason, but week 0 high school game versus a big team. The top 2 teams in the state play. And his team was down 21 in the third quarter, brought them all the way back to compete for the win. Their defense couldn't get a stop to end the game. They lost, but I've been a fan of him ever since that game, and I filmed a couple of his games. Kid's a diehard football lover. Kid can throw it out the stadium if he needs to. Can run at the same time. So I think if the JSU Tigers are smart and if TC is smart, he will put Jared at the starting position as long as Jacobian is hurt because their play styles are pretty much more similar than the second string quarterback. Like Jared can still get it done with his legs. He has the arm to make the intermediate throws that he needs to make. And with that offense, as we've seen, Nemhart, just give him the ball. Just get the kid the ball. Number 3 from Jackson State that transferred, just give him the ball. Put the ball in his hands. He's going to make a play. And that defense, they couldn't get a stop at the biggest moment. And one of the things that my old football coach told me, he said, can you do what you do best at the moment that you need it the most? So Jackson State needed to get off the field. They needed that defense to step up and get off the field, and they couldn't do it. So it's like if Jackson State, if the kid misses the field goal from Grambling, we're talking about Jared coming in and leading the team in a 10-point comeback because he was in a non-regular position like we seen with Otto. Me and Steve seen ourselves with Otto trying to come back and win the game for Virginia. Well, that came back and won the game for Virginia State, Norfolk State over Virginia State. You know, it's hard to be thrown into the game late in the game when you got no flow, you ain't got no rhythm in the game. You got to come in and lead the team down 11. And he did that, you know. It's just that the defense wasn't able to get that stop in the last minute of the game to where Grambling goes on to win. But I think they're going to be just fine. I think with a full week of prep and get him ready, just like they had early on in the season whenever Jacobian was out and he had to play, you know, they're going to be just fine. Not to say their schedule is a little bit weak.
Yeah, real quick. The question though is Grambling trembling up?
I think it's a mixture. I don't know. I think it's a mixture. Like I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's both. I think two things could be true.
All right. So what's the next game, Steve?
All right, so look. All right, so we'll talk about Jackson State. So here's the thing. They have one loss now in the SWAC. It does count as a SWAC loss. So, because we talked about Alabama State, I think it's important to note. So Alabama State needs to win out, and they need Jackson State to lose another game before they can have a chance to get back in the driver's seat and represent the SWAC East. And so we got to do this because there's a month left of the season. You know, the SWAC plays for a while, so there's a whole month left of the season. They do have 4 games left, so let's look who their opponents are, and then we'll go to this get into our games. And guys, please make sure you like the stream as well, or if you're listening on podcast, make sure you're liking it as well, and leave us a 5-star rating. So Jackson State next Saturday, November 1st, day before my birthday. They take on Florida A&M, and I believe they will host. No, I'm sorry. Will they host? Was that? Oh, no. They will go to Bragg Memorial Stadium. So, you know, I mean, look, FAMU just gave up 35 points to Southern, so they could definitely give up 70 to Jackson State, maybe. But it's FAMU, and hey, who knows? You know, it's there. That's one game. Then you have after that you have they play Mississippi Valley. We're not even gonna play with that. We're not gonna play with that. Bethune-Cookman.
That's the game.
Bethune-Cookman. But they are at home on this one, so that helps. It's going to be at the Vet. You know, so that just means that's one less thing for them to worry about. They don't have to worry about getting on the road. Yes. That's November 15th. And then to finish out the season is the Soul Bowl. All right. So, yeah, they're not losing the coins. They not. So basically, you got, you know, you look at the Florida schools, and maybe we'll see. But you know, I think they're still the clubhouse leader. But if you're Alabama State, you just got to keep taking care of business and hope, and become a fan of each of those teams every week. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of football still have to be played. So again, this is the HBCU Game Day Road Warriors show. So literally, I just got home like 30 minutes before we started this off the road. So which is why we're coming on late, but I definitely want to make sure we came on. So we'll start off with Cobi. Cobi, you were at Howard Homecoming. You know, and we'll just put this out there. You know, we wrote the story about it on Friday night. I'll be the guy. The Friday night during the, you know, all the celebration, there was a shooting not on the campus, but near the campus, according to several outlets that were there. And, you know, multiple people were shot. I do know that alerts were sent to people that were on the campus. You know, these things happen all the time. But again, of course, given the things that we've seen, you know, even coming into this week, South Carolina State, which was on the campus, Alcorn State on the campus. And then also it's just everybody's kind of on high alert, and we know what's going on with DC and everything like that. So that shook up a lot of people. A lot of people felt like they had a problem with us reporting about it, but it is what it is. It was near Howard University during homecoming. And, you know, when the bullets start flying, it's not distinguishing, you know, who is there for homecoming versus who's just out on the street anyway. So it is what it is. Prayers for everybody who was impacted by that. All right. That said, Saturdays when you got there, Cobi, you know, talk about the atmosphere on campus. I mean, were people talking about it? Were people kind of, just, hey, just it is what it is. Like, what was that like leading up to the game, and then, go from there?
Nah, it was a little different than before. It was very, very like, listen, I'm telling you, the beauty of being at Howard homecoming is a little different than other homecomings. I think all my HBCU homecomings I've been to were lit. When you talk about Lincoln, and we know what happened, but also Delaware State's homecoming. But it's just something a little bit different when you get to Howard. And what I did, because they blocked the streets off so you can't drive on campus, was I caught the train in from College Park and walked on the campus. And that gave me a different perspective of Howard homecoming. Because walking on the campus, walking through the buildings, like for me, you got to see some of the new construction, but also everybody was having a good time. I got there around 1 o'clock, 1:30, and it was just beautiful. The vendors, the people out there, the beauty of Black people, the diversity of experience, it was amazing. And when you got there was some different things with security. Like, I had to go in there and give up my ID to get my pass. And then I had to wear a vest, like on the field. And I had to shoot from Morgan's sideline most of the game because there's so many people on Howard's sideline. But it's still kind of dope. I know you're going to see Lance Gross. You're going to see I forget the guy from the BET show with Free.
Did you see Taraji?
No, I didn't. I saw Anthony Anderson and Cedric the Entertainer flip at the kick. But I mean, like, I love Taraji. I think
show. I see you.
But beautiful. But I mean, it's just beautiful Black excellence there, and everybody's there, and it just the scene and the thing was beautiful, and it was peaceful. So like, and then the hard thing about Howard's campus is that it's in the middle of the city and it's intertwined with the city. So that's where all the confusion gets mixed up, because you're in DC, it's part of DC. The dorms, people live in apartments that go to the school, and that's in DC. So when you say it's near the campus, that's always tricky. You know what I mean? Because and that's the part with going to a school that's inside. I mean, Norfolk is something like that. When you go to Norfolk, it's right in the neighborhood. So, I can understand, but it is what it is. But once the game started, let me tell you, I was wondering what I was going to see when I got to the football game. But I saw a great game. Two teams trying to. So where I'm confused at before I really get into the game, because I really, really like Anthony Regan Jr., Howard's running back, who scored the last time. And when I say it was a movie from beginning to end, the aunties were there, the cheerleaders in the band, and looking good. You got the
shout out to the aunties.
Yes, and the unks. They dress fly to death, and just the atmosphere was really like beautiful. But then the game got to playing, and from the beginning, Howard went down and scored, and they got talented teams. The problem, I'm gonna tell you, and I don't think it's coaching. They played a hell of a game. Both teams played a hell of a game, and they got talent. But what happens is, I don't know what the players do, but it was like Howard and Morgan was trying to give the game away. I mean, like, just give it away to each other. Like, it was like they wanted to win, but it was always somebody who didn't want to win. They were the quarterback from Howard threw 2 interceptions early in the game.
Schrogen, how do you say his name? Schrogen?
No, he's the backup. He doesn't start. Tyreek Starks is the starting quarterback. And he looked good except for those 2 touchdowns. Yo, I'm going to tell you this. I don't know what they got to do, but Morgan has some of the most explosive players. They got to be able to get them the ball. And I like their redshirt freshman quarterback, Raymond Moore. You can say whatever you want. I ain't going to pay you no mind. Yeah.
We hear this every year.
Let me tell you.
All they need is a quarterback. They got a guy. He's not good, but he could be good.
I like a Morgan quarterback. Tell me, name one.
I'm not just talking about you, Cobi. I'm talking about in general. Like, I'm talking about in general.
Right now, we in the specific. That quarterback, he's a redshirt freshman, and he can ball. He's also a 2-time state champion high school inside of Maryland. Jason Collins is a baller. But so Howard is up 21-14. They run a simple play, it's like a reverse handoff. The running back just dropped it, right? And then Howard picks it up inside the 20. He like, so now the game is tied up. They both go back and score. That's like, no, the Morgan State goes up 26-21. The kicker misses the extra point. Misses the extra point.
I know a little something about that.
And then, but wait, Howard comes back and scores. And they fumble the extra point. Now, before that, Morgan State had a field goal opportunity. The kicker misses the field goal. Now, here's where I almost threw my camera. And I'm not trying to get emotionally invested in the game.
Well, I mean, if you almost threw your camera, it sounds like you're pretty much there, but go ahead.
Because you realize how some of these plays happen. It behooved me. It's 14 seconds left, maybe a little less. Morgan State kicks it off, punts it to Howard just to end the game. You know, they go fourth down, they go to punt it. He drops it inside the 20. They had to call a replay. Luckily, Howard got the ball with 3 seconds left on the clock. Because all it would take was that field goal. Now, do I think Morgan would have won the game if they recovered it? Who knows? The kicker missed the field goal and an extra point. Right? And those are the things, right? Like, players got to play. You know, we can get on the coaches, and I know you were talking about some other stuff earlier about the coaching, but at some point, players got to play. And it's never the same mistake. That's what tells me, like, it ain't coaching. Some part of his players. And I know you're talking about talent development, all that, blah, blah, blah. But it's never the same thing twice, and they keep killing and shooting themselves in the foot. You know what I mean? And it was a hell of a game. Both teams got some talent. If they can fix the BS, I think they can surprise.
They can beat Norfolk State?
Huh?
They can beat Norfolk State? Yeah. Well, you're going out on a limb there.
Nah, I mean, the offensive, I think Howard plays physical defense. And we know about Morgan's defense. Anytime, if you clean up a few of those things, like Howard had 10 penalties? You know, you clean up some of those things. They should have beat Richmond. You know what I mean? They up and down. So we'll see.
Everybody knows.
I didn't say almost. I said they should have beat Richmond.
Should have, almost should have.
Right? So, you know, those are the things I'm concerned about when they go into conference play. But this is my last statement on this whole thing. The MEAC is a much better football conference than people think. I think they're both all the teams in the MEAC above Norfolk are much better teams than people think. And I think
all of them, including Morgan State this year, that does not have a Division I win yet.
I think that you can throw that around. But
they barely beat Miles.
I think they're a better team than people think about. All right? You can say what you want. I ain't going to argue with you. I don't think they're that bad, man. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I don't think they're as bad as people think they are. Now, I truly believe that. After watching them play, they got talent, bro. There's no way you're going to. I don't care what anybody says.
Man, listen, all I'm going to say is he was right about one thing. And he's been telling us this the whole time. He was right about something. So I ain't going to completely just knock him out of it. I ain't going to completely neglect his opinion because he was right about some couple things that we're going to talk about later. So I ain't going to say nothing.
You see what I'm associated with. We ain't going to play them games. Don't play with me, Mr. Watcher. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. So yeah, Cobi was hanging out in the nation's capital. I'll go next. You know, so I ended up at Norfolk State. I passed through Central. I was like, yeah, Josh got Durham. Josh got Durham. By the time I get there, they might be shut down anyway, because they had to shut their campus down mad early. We'll get to that in a second. I was like, you know what? Let me go pull up on Norfolk. So I had some ulterior motives, but we'll get beyond that. You may find those out later if all goes well. But but anyway, so I decided to go to Norfolk State, and we've been profiling the Michael Vick impact since he was hired. I was up there when he was hired, and been up there a couple times. Josh been up there, so we've been on it, and hadn't been looking great, and it's continued to not look great. But let's talk about it. So this year, one of the things this year is that Norfolk State is a place where they've had some incidents at homecoming too. They haven't had, I don't think, a major shooting, but a couple years ago they had like a tailgate. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, a couple years ago they had a tailgate. They had a tailgate situation where I think people were like either climbing the fence or like trying to pull the fence down. It was crazy. So anyway, between that, everything that's going on with homecoming and the Michael Vick effect, they decided to do a new situation this year. And so they have these fences, and I believe this one is not there. They erected fences where normally they don't have them. So basically one of the things that they did was, and you'll see in just a second, this is, don't try this at home, kids, or don't try it on the road. But this is when I was trying to find my parking spot. Again, shout out to my plug. I was able to get in on campus. I didn't have to wait with the commoners. I'm kidding. But yeah, so you'll see. So there was so everywhere else besides this entrance, there's fences. You had to, in order to get on campus, even if you're not going in the game, you had to buy a game ticket. So everybody had to pay $50 to get on campus. And you had to go through these fences. You had to go through metal detectors. And that was a safety measure as well as a revenue generator. Because I think generally, if I'm not mistaken, from what I was hearing, you normally would be able to pull up on the campus and, go to the tailgate in different areas, but without having to pay. But again, in order for safety as well as revenue, they decided to change things up a little bit. So this is just me kind of walking around during the pregame festivities. You had the South Carolina State band there. South Carolina State, I'll talk about them. A couple of weeks ago, I saw them at the self-proclaimed greatest homecoming on earth, and they took the win home there in Greensboro. And so now they're Norfolk State's homecoming opponent. There's the band marching in, Spartan Legion, celebrating their 50th anniversary. One of my favorite bands. My favorite band on the East Coast, actually. Kylo Quinn, former Norfolk State star right there. He works there now. The Spartan Legion getting hyped. So, so as far as Norfolk State was concerned, this is where all the action was. It wasn't at the game. They got straight worked at the game. Kenneth Berry and those boys, they came up with bad intentions, and they caught them hands. By the time I finally got in, which I won't even get all the way into that situation, by the time I finally got in, it was late in the second quarter, and it was a 28-7 lead for Norfolk State. For South Carolina State. And so definitely a just a tough day for them. It was a 51-20 lead. But I do want to kind of, I do like to go around and talk to people. So one of the first people that I saw when I pulled up was this South Carolina State gentleman. And let's hear from him and someone else who happened to come along in the conversation. To South Carolina State. Talk to me for a second,
What's
gentlemen. How you doing?
happening? How you doing?
HBCU game day.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. So
How about the Bulldogs?
yeah. So you live here?
No, sir. I'm living in Maryland.
Okay.
But you know, I gotta come down and support my team.
Okay. Yeah. I know. I was at the self-proclaimed greatest homecoming on earth a couple weeks ago when you guys
Me
got
too.
Okay.
Bro, we had to spank them up, you know.
Okay.
So we plan on doing the same thing today.
Okay.
All right, we don't care about no big.
Okay. What did you think about the process? What did you think about the process?
Well, you know what? I like the process.
What?
Oh,
No mistake. Green and gold.
Look at it. You know what? I'm gonna give it to them because they celebrating. You know, they 90. They came through in 90.
Okay.
So they doing their thing.
Stop playing.
But
You sure that's not 09 instead of 90?
No.
06 baby. 06
But
baby.
you crossed the line, Steve.
Heavenly Father was
I thought
we're found in Christian
No. I'm saying I thought it was 1990 and I was saying 09, 2009.
1990. We are the last of the above ground line.
Oh.
Yes, above ground lines.
Okay.
Okay?
With distinction. No disrespect. No disrespect.
None taken.
All right. You take care.
It's homecoming, baby.
Okay.
It's homecoming.
All right. Well, look.
All right, man. Game day, baby.
Give me a prediction. Score prediction.
It's going to be 26-9 South Carolina State.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We see.
All right.
Yeah. So he kind of sold his team short. So yeah, Cobi. Cobi, I'm not Greek. So I thought I was being charming. You know, she wasn't having none of that. She let me know.
So what you just told me, you ain't got no game.
Listen, man, I was there capturing footage, but you know what? But I put that in. So I produced it. I put that in the show. So it is what it is. Yeah, man. But that was about all the action. Tailgate was popping. It was a beautiful day. But for our football, Norfolk State. They did. If you look at their statistics for attendance, you're going to see 47,500, and you're going to say, wait a minute. How many people does a stadium hold? And I'm going to tell you that they hold 30,000. So you're going to say, then how did they get that many in there? And I'm going to tell you, well, I guess, nobody told me, but deduction, you got a degree, that that there was everybody who had to pay to get everybody who had to get on the yard. You had to have a ticket. So there we go.
They get in the yard after you mess with that lady. You was about to have the same action Norfolk State got.
Not for real.
Messing with
every day is an adventure with SJG.
Yo, them spring 90 Greeks is crazy.
Yeah, she said they were the last above ground. So I was like, oh.
They outlawed it in 90. Right after that. You playing around.
See, I didn't know, but now I know. If I see 1990, leave them alone.
Yeah. Do you know so when they say they're the last above ground, they're the last ones to march on campus in their pledge gear.
So they did the school days thing.
Yes, for real.
Yep. The real jump.
And school days ain't even like it was when you was in you don't even look at school days. That's like a cartoon version. So leave that lady alone. Yeah, you was, bro.
Well, after it was said and done, I took a picture with the whole line. So
Good. You need to hang that up.
All right. Yeah, it was a lot of anniversaries. And I did see this. They started to fence NSU up for security reasons. That's true. And, we had a story on the HBCU game day earlier this week about Prairie View's homecoming. Tremaine Jackson, their coach, talked about how their homecoming wasn't sold out and, that he was not feeling it. And so he was trying to admonish everybody to do that. Now, we posted the story up. Story went big. It's everywhere. Go check it out on HBCU game day if you haven't heard it. But he was very adamant about the fact that he felt that there should be more fanfare, or there should be just a lot of people. There shouldn't have been a problem, let's say, getting the sellout for the homecoming game. So Yeah, so Norfolk State, they found a way to get people to pay for the game, whether or not they could get in. I mean, it wasn't super efficient. I'm not going to lie to you. The lines were still hella long because, I mean, for one, we kind of already went through the metal detectors and you had to have a ticket to get on campus. So I don't know exactly why the lines were as long as they were, but hey, they were what they were. So, yeah, so that it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, but I think that's smart, right? The money from homecoming goes into the athletic budget. People come there, they're not required to go to the game, but they're required to pay for the game, part of the homecoming festivities. And I think that's a beautiful way to increase the money. Look, I mean, $47,000, $50 a pop.
My uncle did the math. He was like, because their students to get in free, I guess, but yeah. I mean, so there's roughly 40,000 people paying $50. My uncle did the math. Shout out to my uncle. He lives up there. I was able to check out, holler at him. He said, I think he did the math. He was like 2 million, basically. So, you think about, a lot of people don't think about homecoming from this aspect. But, homecoming, the thing about homecoming is, imagine any business they would know for one day of the year, for 2 days of the year. So think just that Thursday and Friday. For one day, your physical space is going to be flooded with people that are going to be coming onto your space with no obligation to buy anything. And I'll tell you, on Friday, I was out there. They had 106 and Park out there. I heard this guy talking, and he was, he was just trying to enjoy. He was trying to spark something up. I was like, who is this local guy? Then I found out later it was Bow Wow. But anyway, so anyway, they had their people out there, and I just saw like a couple of huge trash piles. I was like, why would y'all feel like it's okay to just like leave this here? But somebody's got to clean that up, right? So, you got that. And then, nobody's paying anything. Then you get on Saturday and it can be the same thing if they're not doing anything. So you got to spend more money for security and you got to spend more money for cleanup, if nothing else. And again, I know, speaking from experience, over at WSSU, you can have the time of your life and not pay anything, especially if you get dropped off. You got the time of your life in that gravel lot. But the school may not see a penny from it. So shout out to them using what they do have. They do have an on-campus stadium. They do have gates and fencing. So yeah, I think that was a wise decision.
And check this out, right? If I'm Riff Raff, am I paying $50 to get on campus? Most of the people who are going to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, it's also a way to weed that out. Yeah, it's also a way to weed that out for sure. Yeah. So I don't hate it. Hopefully, every school is different. I know Josh, your alma mater, Livingstone, I know they did it a couple years ago.
They're doing it this year too.
Yeah, people kicked up dust about it, but for one, I heard they got more people in the game than they normally would get because you already paid to go into the game. And then secondly, the school is making sure that they have, making sure that they are recouping some of it. They probably hope, who knows, they might have made some money. They might not have made some money, but, I think it's one of those things that we often don't think about how our schools are living and breathing and all of that good stuff. So, yeah, but it was good. A great day was had. It was also homecoming at Virginia State and Hampton, so there was a lot going on there. Chris Tucker, you so preoccupied with the Rams, you can't even be happy about your own team. We're always on your mind.
Chris, I see you, Chris.
Exactly. He ain't gonna say nothing about his team winning. He gotta come straight. He gotta come straight to the Rams. It's okay. Enjoy it right now. Enjoy it right now because it won't always be this way.
I see you, Chris.
Remove Cobi from stage. All right. All right. So next up,
yeah.
All right, we'll talk more about the Rams on the D2 show. Next up, we got Josh, who was at the third of the trio of MEAC homecomings that took place on Saturday over in Durham. So yeah, go ahead and take it away, Josh. Like, set the scene for me. We saw early on And I'll play the clips where, there were, what was going on here early on. That little Grandmaster Flash. I don't know nothing about that. Shout out to the DJ. Go ahead.
So early on, as you guys can see, like Delaware State had came in not looking like the same Delaware State. Like they looked amped up, they looked excited, they was hyped all the way in the pregame moments. And I can tell you right now that Delaware State team is not the same Delaware State team. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. I was 100% wrong. I was 100% wrong on Delaware State team, the team that they are now, because they are not nowhere near the same team, Delaware State team. Pre-game, it was super lit. It was super hype. Deshaun Jackson had a little altercation with Coach Oliver, didn't want to shake his hand. Coach Oliver came up to the middle of the field, where you normally want to greet the other coach and shake his hand. D-Jack was trying to hype his team up, telling them, this our ish, this our trap, we finna take it over. This ain't that old ish, this that new ish. And Coach Oliver and the players is like, all right, the last coach that said that, y'all better do y'all research. We put up 60 on him, so it was a good trash talk going back and forth. Then they finally met up in the middle, took it out, and talked. And then, as you guys can get in the show, they wish each other good luck. So, that happened. Then we got into the game. The game, I'm going to tell you this right now. The game was just as good as the Jackson State-Alabama State game, but the atmosphere was nowhere near the same. Like, I remember whenever I came on here the Sunday of the Jackson State-Alabama State game, and I told you guys that was one of the best environments that I've ever been in. The atmosphere, the energy, the fans, the crowd, it was super hype and it was super into it. That game yesterday, was nowhere near the same. Like, I kid you not. At halftime, I'm sitting there editing the video, and I got done editing the video. I got done editing the video and put it out. The team comes back out. Coach Oliver runs over near the band where the cheerleaders are at, starts cussing everybody out. Not even lying. Yo, why the F the band not playing? Where the DJ at? Cheerleaders, I need y'all to cheer. Y'all need to get us hype. Why y'all not getting us going? We out here dry right now, man. What the F going on? Y'all need to turn this S up. Not even trolling. I'm being so serious. Coach Oliver was hot. He was mad because, I'm being honest, I've been in Central and covering HBCU game day for the past 5 years. That's the most deadest I've ever seen a North Carolina Central crowd ever. Like, I've never seen that stadium be that dead. Like, other than the explosive play, other than the big play, the crowd was quiet. The crowd was mute. And as you guys can hear in all these clips that's going on right now, what do you not hear? You don't hear no band. You don't hear no cheering. You don't hear no nothing. Like, it was like since Delaware State didn't bring a band, it seemed like Central's band didn't want to play. Look at the clip. They're sitting down. They're not playing. Like, it was quiet in the stadium. I don't know if it was because people had thought that this is the same Delaware from years prior, that, it was going to be a blowout or it wasn't going to be a good game. I don't know if they did their homework, but Delaware State came into the game ready to come and take the game over, as they did. They came out, they punched Central in the mouth early and let them know early, like, hey, this is not the same ish that y'all was used to years prior. This is a new era. This is a new time. And we're not going for what y'all used to do in the past. And that's what they came out to do. So, me personally, I think that Central left way too many opportunities for Delaware State to stay in the game early on in the game. And that was a great throw by Walker Harris. He's one of the best passes I've ever seen. That pass was amazing. But a lot of Central's big plays came back from holding calls. Like, all of Central's big plays that they had 2 good pass plays that came back from holding. They had 1 good Chris Mosley run that came back from holding. So Central didn't have the real explosive plays. That right there was one of the only 2 explosive plays that Central is known for the entire season. So Central left a lot of points out on the board that they should have had, because after this touchdown, the offense was stagnant. Now, is that due to the offense, or is that because of that Delaware State defense? Me personally, I have to call a spade, man. The Delaware State defense shocked me on how good they were able to stop the run. Even though Cobi has came on here multiple times and told us, their front 7 is like that. Their front 7 is good. They're not as big as other teams, but they're fast. They fly around. And one thing that he did say, the DBs, they're not that great. Walker couldn't get to the DBs because whenever Walker was able to throw the ball down the field, he made the plays. But the offense couldn't get going under Chris Mosley because the offense couldn't get going because Chris Mosley couldn't get going. The defense held Chris Mosley to only 83 yards, and he averages 100 yards per game. So that just shows how good the defense played yesterday. So with all that being said, I'm gonna be right hand. Y'all can full screen me if you want. This Delaware State team is definitely a new revamped team. This is not the same Delaware State team we've seen in years prior. This team has swagger. This team has brought in the culture. This team has embodied Deshaun Jackson's entire mindset, his aura, what the kids call it nowadays, of this team. And I'm gonna be right now with you guys right now. They're the most dangerous team in the MEAC because you got South Carolina State that's, looking good, but not looking as dominant as we've seen prior. Then they just took down Central, and I don't want to say it was dominant, but dominant fashion. They beat them by 10 on their home field on homecoming. And also, I went to the bowl after the game. Some of the Delaware State players was in the bowl dancing, celebrating, talking about this is our second homecoming. I'm like, oh, they out here really wilding. I'm telling y'all right now, man, I was completely wrong about this Delaware State team, and a man can accept whenever he was wrong. And I'm telling you guys firsthand right now, I was wrong. They went in there, they took over that trap like they said they was going to do. They walked in there like they owned it, and they went out there and they executed. Shout out to Delaware State. Shout out to Coach Deshaun Jackson. And I truly do think that this Delaware State team, I never thought I would say this, but I can see them in the Celebration Bowl. I can see them there. Just strictly based on, man, they're going to figure out a way to run the ball. Now, this is the one thing that I am going to tell you from the game. Central gave up a lot of explosive plays through the air that I didn't think they would give up. But it's because that they're trying to stop the run so much. They kill you so much with Caden Bennett, with Marquise Gillis and James Jones. They kill you so much with the RPOs, the runs, the counters, the powers, to where your safeties have to come up and try to make the play to stop him in the backfield, because before you know it, Marquise is in the second level. And if you guys know with football, if you can get to the second level before you even get touched with yards before contact, get to that second level, you can break one tackle, you're gone. So, hey, man, I'm telling you right now, that Delaware State team is going to be a very, very hard offense to stop, because they run the ball so well, and it sets up Caden to make easy throws. Right out of halftime, Caden Bennett throws an RPO slant. It's literally nobody that touches him for 70 yards down the field, because you have to respect the run so much. And I'm going to tell you this one thing. Like I said earlier about Jackson State, can you do what you do best at the moment you need it the most? North Carolina Central was down 21. That was down 10. They were down 10. No, they were down 11 to Delaware State. North Carolina Central goes on to score 14 points unanswered in the blink of an eye. Right at the end of the third quarter to start the fourth quarter, they got it. They're up 24-21. It's fourth down on Delaware State's own 38-yard line. It's 4th and 2. If they go for it, Delaware State goes for it, they get the first down. If North Carolina Central can bow up and do what they do best and get stops on defense for Walker Harris to come down and put up points on the board, we could be talking about this game. We could be talking about this Delaware State team a whole different light. We could be talking about North Carolina Central gets it done again this and the third. But the offensive line, Marquise Gillis and Coach Deshaun Jackson being able to trust his team to go for it on your own 38-yard line, knowing that if you don't get these 2 yards, North Carolina Central is probably going to go down and score this ball and punch it in and go up 10 points in the fourth quarter. So shouts out to Delaware State, man. I am now officially a believer of the Hornets. I'm the same way how I'm bought into A&T with Coach Gibbs. I'm bought in the same exact way with Deshaun Jackson, man. And I did a little post-game interview with him that's currently going up on YouTube. I don't know if it's uploaded yet or not, but just seeing him and his swagger, his aura, just seeing how he carries himself, man, that team truly feeds off of that. And, hey, man, I'm telling you this right now, don't sleep on them no more. I don't know about next year, but for right now, don't sleep on them no more.
All right, a couple of things before I let Brother Minister Cobi go, because he got on his glasses. Yeah, first off, I don't know why Gen Z thinks they created the word aura, but that's been a word. But yes, we know.
We popularized it.
We know. People who read know that word.
I'm just saying.
I know Gen Z doesn't. I know Gen Z doesn't do a lot of reading.
We read.
People who have read, we know that word. But yes, we get what you're saying. We get what you're saying. You know, that's the word that y'all like to pull out. But yes, we get what you're saying when you say that. Secondly, I lost my train of thought from there. Brother Minister Cobi, go ahead, take your time. Gloat, Mr. North. Here.
And that's why I put my glasses on so I could aura farm. You know what I mean? I told you. And you could talk about James Jones. You could talk about Caden Bennett. You could talk about Marquis Gillis. And you got to remember, Marquis Gillis, Najee Lally, they were on the team. Marquis Gillis was a MEAC Freshman of the Year at one time. So, he didn't just get rid of people and bring everybody back. He kept who could ball, and Del State always had some ball. But what he did was bring an identity, confidence, discipline, and he relates to the players. Now, you can disagree with the way he dresses. It's not like a traditional coach, or it's not as professional. He cares about them kids. He cares about discipline. He cares about football. And he is Deshaun Jackson, who he always was. And he's not going to change. And you got to love it because he's a family man. And why I bring up him being a family man is that means his players, his team is his family. And he brings his family around. You know what I mean? And so I'm telling you, I told people, you just can't watch TV and understand Delaware State.
You can't.
And I'm going to say this. The reason that they're in the position that they're in and people don't believe in them is because they were building. They haven't, even against North Carolina Central, they didn't play a full 4 quarters. They fell asleep in the third. When you look at those games, they were beating the stuff out of all their teams and had moments in the second quarter or third quarter when teams attacked their pass defense. If they solidify that just a little bit more, I'm telling you, they're too fast, they're too aggressive, they got to get a little bit more discipline, but people are going to have problems. And they got too many weapons. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Check out.
They're a good team, man. They're a good all-around team, and the thing that goes into it with them not having the best DB core is that whenever you can make a team one-dimensional and hold a team to under 100 yards rushing like they did with Central, it can kind of help out your back end a little bit, because whenever it's hard to cover in the back end is whenever you don't know what's coming next. You don't know if it's RPO, you don't know if it's a run, and you got to commit down. But then whenever you know it's starting long, you know they're passing the ball. It makes it a little bit more easier, so you can finally dial in and lock in on it. Now, even though Walker Harris was still throwing the ball all over the yard, I think he still threw for 300 yards and over the game still. I think they're still a very good team. I think the defense is very slept on within them, because the defense is what shocked me the most within the game, because I thought within the game they weren't going to be able to stop the run.
Everybody going to hit you. Everybody on that team going to hit you.
They even had a kid with a he had a full-on club, was probably about as big as my whole body. He out there laying the hammer. I mean, Chris Mosley came, thought he had a little wheel route, came through, bop, clocked him right on the sideline that I was on. I even heard, I said, my God, that thing was loud. Del State hardest game left against Delaware State in Dover. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you this right now.
I'm beat it. That's going to be on fire.
Cobi's going to be there. And that game is the last game of the year. Yeah. That game is going to be 2 alphas battling it out with Coach Berry and Coach Deshaun Jackson. So that game is going to be a good one. That game's definitely going to be a good one.
Now, here's the problem. The Delaware State fans got to come on out and support that team.
They got to show up.
They got to fill that stadium. I don't know, man. They're starting to buy in the community. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not a big Delaware State lover initially. I tell you, I went to the first HBCU, but they're doing something different with changing the culture. They got the new band director, added a few things. The basketball coach is pretty good. They got sports that people don't even know. Their equestrian team is really good. They're starting to build something and do things differently at Delaware State. And I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers because more people are talking about it. And after today, people are going to want to see them play because a lot of people believe they were the same old Delaware State. I tried to tell you. I told you in spring camp, told you in fall camp. Everybody said, well, as Steve says about Howard, well, you know, Howard be Howard in Delaware State, you know.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I definitely thought whenever Central scored 11 straight, everybody on the sideline was like, "Oh, we're back, we're good." And I thought it too. I'm like, "Oh yeah, Central's gonna win." And then on that 4th and 2, I will never forget. I think that play is gonna stick in Coach Oliver's head. The whole game gonna stay in Coach Oliver's head for the rest of the season. But that play, that 4th and 2 was so crucial to me because I think that was a play because at that point it was like 9 minutes left. It was like 9-10 minutes left. And, you know, Delaware State, they're going to run the ball. They're going to milk the clock. So whenever they got that and they went down and they scored and Marquise Gillis came down, everybody calmed down. We all good. Then once again, can you do what you do best when you need it the most? Can Central come out and go score? Even though they're down now, can they go score? They did not.
And I'm going to say two things. Two things. First, for all the pundits who talked about Del State didn't play nobody, I really question if they watch football. Because who did Central play that was better than a lot of Delaware State played the FBS? They played Monmouth, which is ranked number 12 in the country. Yes, they played two Division II teams, but most of us take the warm-ups and got Division II teams, right? And then they played Sacred Heart and St. Francis. Sacred Heart ain't that good, and they lost the game to St. Francis only because their starting quarterback was out in the first quarter, right? And they still threw up 30 points. So I'm going to say that to all those pundits who say Delaware State, because who in the MEAC played more games? Secondly, they should have won or had a closer game with the FBS team, but that was their first game of the season. And I think they put the pause on Delaware State, and they ran into a whole bunch of, what do you call it? Behavior policing. They got a lot of penalties for talking, right? So listen, I'm telling you this. And the last thing I say, Trey Oliver is going to hold this. I can't wait to see what the Monday meeting going to be about. Next MEAC Media Day, and then the week before.
Make sure my sound works.
Huh?
Make sure my sound works.
Yep. And then the next year, the week before they play Delaware State, because I bet you everything that Dion did, he accepted it, but he took it personally. I guarantee you.
I'm telling you this. I bet you Coach Oliver going to talk about how the crowd was dead in that meeting tomorrow. I promise you that. Because he was, I wish I had my camera or my phone out filming it, but you know, whenever coaches is in the moment, and Steve, you've been around Coach Oliver multiple times. You've been at Central. Whenever he get into that mode, whenever he get the yelling, you might as well just want to stay far away because next thing you know, you might get kicked off the sideline. Because I have been kicked off the sideline before down there in Durham, so I just let him rock. But when I tell you, I'm sitting right there, and if you've been to Central, you know, right there where the band is, where the cheerleaders is at. He walks all the way down from the side, from where they come out the tunnel, all the way down, full steam ahead. I'm thinking he finna come cuss me out or something. Full steam ahead, walk right on down. Hey man, where the F the band at, man? Why y'all so dead out here, man? Cheerleaders, y'all gotta get us going, man. It's too quiet out here. Where the F the DJ at, man? What's going on? And as you guys can see, all I gotta say, watch the video. You will see the band is sitting down. The band is not playing. There's no music playing. You can literally, when I knew something was weird, because I didn't notice it, but then when they pointed it out, it's 3rd down for Central on offense. Their announcer is saying, "Come on, fans, it's 3rd down." Whoa, you gotta be quiet. What are y'all getting loud for? It's 3rd down for y'all. You supposed to do that on defense. What are you doing? I was like, man, look, I don't blame him. He was hot. He was pissed yesterday. He was pissed.
I'm telling you, this makes the MEAC 4 games left. It's interesting.
Any given Saturday.
Yeah. I like it. This make everywhere to go except Delaware State and Norfolk.
Hey, facts, Dave. He always, it's always one that get him. He always, they always slip up with one. Last year, South Carolina State. But look, hold on though. This is nothing I want to say. We've seen the pattern. Whoever beats Central go to the Celebration Bowl. First it was Howard, Then it was South Carolina State.
First was South Carolina State, then it was Howard.
Yeah, South Carolina State, then Howard, then
Then
South
South
Carolina
Carolina
State
State.
again, and now Dell State. So it's Dell State.
I know I'm going to that. I'm going to that Celebration Bowl. I don't know how I'm going, but I'm going.
You can take my spot, dog.
Now we got to hang out together. You can make somebody else sit out.
Take my spot, man.
I ain't gonna say no name.
Hey, let's do the helmet stickers. Let's do the helmet stickers. Let's do the helmet stickers.
Yeah. Y'all go ahead. Y'all got that.
The helmet sticker.
Who your helmet sticker, Cobi?
Yo, it gotta be. It has to be that young bull, Anthony Regan Jr. Yeah, man. He had 122 yards, 2 TDs, including the game winner in overtime. Yo, I like from not watching Howard, I really didn't see him much, but that little man got some wheels, bro. And he could ball. He could ball. I like him. Who you got, Josh?
So every time I always do mine, I always pick the team that I had just filmed and won. So I don't want to be obvious and give it to Dell State. I'm gonna switch it up though. I'm gonna give it to Howard. And mainly the fan base of Howard, because Howard has been dealing with them ruthless, aggressive fans of Morgan State. Hearing they had to deal with that for the last 365 days.
Morgan State has fans.
Okay. having to deal with the annoying, even if they have only 3, they are annoying. Having to deal with those fans for the past years of them losing that game and finally getting over that hump in dramatic fashion that it was going to OT, having it be a 4.5, 7-hour game. You know, shout out to Howard. Shout out to the football team for getting that game done. And shout out to the fans as well for finally having that negative energy lifted off of them till now they can back their ish up for the next 365 days. So shout out to them, man. Specifically, my homegirl Erica. Shout out to her, man, because she's been going through it. So shout out to my dog Erica for getting over that hump.
Yeah, man. It's been an interesting week. And look who showed up. Look who graced us with her ideas. Yeah, she's gonna be the little road warrioring of herself. Simone,
I'll pull you off the stage, bro.
She's I think RVing it up at some point this week up to the big game up in Philly. You know, we couldn't get everybody in, so you know, it'll be Cobi and Simone up there. You know, she's excited. If you didn't see her reaction video yesterday, she's excited, of course, about Deshaun Jackson. I mean, I guess to a lesser extent, you know, Norfolk State. But hey, who knows?
Who knows? Any given Saturday.
Who knows? That's what music said. Music soul
what
child.
What if Otto come out and cook though? Like, what if Otto come out and throw for like 300?
And what if I was 6'1"?
You wouldn't be here right now.
Exactly.
Man, I know. Yeah.
Who you got, Steve? Who's your helmet sticker?
I'm gonna give mine to Mr. T-Set. You know, since y'all went on MEAC with y'all, I'll give mine to Mr. T-Set for setting his team up. And you know, they took care of it for him, but I think that was big, you know, again. So prayers up for him. I believe you know, they released an update about him not too long ago. So sounds like he's doing much better. So, you know, we want to definitely keep our prayers up for him. But yeah, you know, we look forward to turn the page to next week. Cobi, we know you'll be at the Dell State Norfolk State game. What about you? Josh? Where are you going?
I'm going to the CIAA South championship game. The CIAA South championship game. I'll be there. That's gonna be good, man. I can't wait for that one. I'm telling y'all now, I got Fayetteville. So it's the me versus Wally Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I got Fayetteville. I think Fayetteville gonna get it done, man.
Yeah, after they were talking all spicy after that win the other day, yeah. Man, go ahead. The shelter ponies can take it this time over the yellow cows.
Y'all had that growing up for y'all, doing all that talk that y'all always do.
We gonna still be talking, damn it.
I haven't heard nothing from a Winston fan in the past.
Please. We're gonna be talking.
Hold on.
They're battling about what chance is what, who made the chance.
Well, I know who we can talk to.
Hold on, Reggie Swan, this is not the week to come up here with Benedict.
Yeah.
It's not the week.
Yeah. After that BTA, yeah.
This is not the week.
It's all right.
The Tigers lost their stripes.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be at Fayetteville State versus Johnson C. Smith down in Fayetteville. Should be a great game, man. Super excited for that. Two great defenses battling it out to typically kind of see who goes to take on Virginia Union in the CIAA championship down in Durham in November 14th.
Yeah. See who can try to figure out how to fill up a side of a stadium. Neither one of them know how to do it, but it is in North Carolina. So
Fayetteville will definitely fill up the side of the stadium.
Man, please. I done been to every one of them CIAA championship games. They don't have fans. They don't have fans.
The year that I went, the 1 year that I went to CIAA championship when they played Virginia Union and Jada Byers last year. Was it junior or senior? I can't remember. But
after 8 years, they finally figured out how to fill up a side. We'll see.
Well, whenever the bus drive is 8 hours long, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to go either.
Please. When your team is fighting for a championship, you show up. But hey, that's what some of us do.
You ain't felt that for a while. But
what'd you say?
You haven't felt that in a while. But how you gonna close this out, Steve?
That's nasty. That was nasty.
Come on, send us home, brother.
What was Cheney's score this week?
Hey, we ain't scored in about 10 years.
Exactly. Thank you. All righty. I'll take it down. All right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. My birthday is next Sunday. I'm turning the big 4-0. I don't know. I'll be somewhere. I'll be somewhere.
So basically what he's saying is going to be me and Cobi on the show.
That is right. Yeah, Ray, I might be on your own there, but we'll see. But all right, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Please, guys, make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what game you were at. And if you're listening on a podcast, make sure that you listen and leave us a review, 5 stars only, nothing less. All right, appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.